Hello, this is Chase Morse with Profitwise, back again with tip number 2 from our Advanced Excel and Access tips from Profitwise series. And this tip is on dynamic report titles. Now in this we're going to show you how we quickly update various titles on our reports by just changing one small number. Now this is not going to seem particularly powerful when you just look at it on the one spreadsheet, but when you multiply this across a whole workbook, to being able to change all the report titles and the way that your report's summarized just by changing one defined name variable on the worksheet is a very powerful solution to making your reports more efficient and effective. Okay, so moving over here quickly to Excel, you can see that this is a template for a monthly P&L results report. And the thing that you need to kind of focus in on is this title, because this is what I'm going to be adjusting, or this is where I'm actually using the choose function. So what I've done is I put a choose function into the cell at A4, and it references the cell at E1. So whenever I change the monthly number here, which is currently 8, when I change it to 9, now I get September, and 10 will give me October. So how does this work? Well, if I go down here and I click on this cell, you can see the first part is the monthly P&L results title, and then I have an ampersand, which is kind of like a plus sign for text string. So it's basically saying join this text string to what comes next. The next part is where I'm actually using the choose function. The choose function is in the first parameter is referencing the cell E1. So the choose just uses whatever's at this first cell, and then it goes down this list, and it uses that number to pluck whatever's in that list. So currently E1 is 10, and so it's returning September. And basically this works pretty well if you have a lot of different reports or workbooks that need to reference a title or some number throughout. You can make it a little bit easier if you set up a name. So the way that I would set up a name for this cell rather than the way I have it currently referencing E1 is I would go over here to formulas, name, manager, create a name called month end, and then I want the scope to be global, and here I'm going to have to change the cell that it's referencing to E1 because that's the cell I want it to reference, and by having the scope workbook means it's global to the whole workbook. You can set them up to be just worksheet relative if that's what you want. So here I have both the P&L and the balance sheet, and so if I go over here to the balance sheet is using the same formula looking at cell E1, but I can go into here and I can change this to my month end name here, and you can see here it changed to October, which is what it was on the other sheet. And let me go back to the P&L and just do the same change, changing from E1 over to the name. I'm just going to use that. And now if I wanted to, you could see how the two are synchronized by looking at the two sheets simultaneously. So up on the top I have the P&L. This is the cell you can see here that references month end, and down here this is referencing the same cell. So when I change this to 11, you can see both the P&L and the balance sheet change. So that's basically a simple way to use the choose function to update the titles in your report. There's some more complicated ways to use choose, and we'll get into that. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe down below and check out our website. You'll see the link here on the screen. Thank you and bye.